Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a bunch of film rats talk about and rank movies. Today, we are here to be the best, like no one ever was. We're talking about Pokemon. On the show with me today, I have Johnny.
I'm Brock from Pewter City, and I want to be your boyfriend.
Spencer. Yo, what up? And I'm your host, Xander. Welcome to the show, everybody.
You guys remember that Brock line?
Brock is a crazy character, isn't he?
That was a good line. Do you remember that from just when you just watched
the movie? Yeah, I do. I just saw it. He's got a couple of crazy ones.
Yeah, Brock is like consistently insane, but I love him for it.
I fuck with Brock so much.
All right, so it is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon this year. Hardly been alive without Pokemon. And so the rats are here to do a little ranked episode about some of the Pokemon movies. For 30th anniversary, we're doing the first 3 movies. Maybe someday we'll come back and do some other ones because there's a lot of Pokemon movies.
There's like 20.
I want to do them all. I want to capture them all with my eyes.
What's both of your introductions into Pokemon?
Oh boy.
Fire Red, Game Boy, Color.
It wasn't
2000.
On the Game Boy Color.
I don't know what year it was, probably something like that.
Yeah, no, Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
2003.
My first introduction was Ruby. I think like I watched the anime like as the first series as a kid like everybody else did, but I didn't play the game until I had a Game Boy Advance and played Ruby.
Yeah, I remember coming home from school and watching Pokemon after school. For a while.
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
And then there was an episode where Jigglypuff got beat up,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom thought it was too violent, and it got banned for me for a little bit.
Oof, rough. Jigglypuff is fascinating because Jigglypuff was so popular that she became a character in Smash Bros.
That's high praise for fucking Jigglypuff.
Did the whole singing thing.
I like Jigglypuff. I don't understand what
now in Smash Bros.
Jigglypuff hate is coming. I like Jigglypuff.
It's just crazy to me that Jigglypuff was the second Pokemon after Pikachu for like chosen character for Smash Bros.
What happened to Meowth? Why can't Meowth get in there?
Yeah.
No, Meowth
would have been
Charizard.
great.
But yeah, I think my main memory with Pokemon, like the beginning of the obsession, is definitely what Johnny said is Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red.
Yeah. I still believe that like probably the first Pokemon game you play is usually your favorite.
Yeah. Fire Red is my favorite.
Yeah, Leaf Green's my favorite.
It's like the Legend of Zelda effect.
That is kind of true for me with Zelda too.
There you go.
It's because you're introduced, like, they always talk about it in the show and the movies and stuff, but they always go, welcome to the world of Pokemon. And as a kid, I feel like we really felt that. And you playing the first game is literally your welcome to the world. You know what I mean? So that's why.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's why all the young people get mad when older people like us say Gen 1 is the best, or like the early gens are the best. But it's because it's whatever you played first is going to be the best.
I mean, it's been iconic for 30 years for a reason. I feel like it really does speak to people, and there's like a simplicity to it where it kind of is just like our world, but with slightly different animals.
And more, well, I don't know about more, different violence.
Yeah.
A different kind of violence.
Yeah, maybe not more.
We gotta have violence. But this is
more
fun
acceptable violence for some reason.
Everyone's on board with the violence.
Yeah, they're
loving it.
Until they're not, which happens in the first movie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Johnny, was it you that was telling me something about how like our generation, something gets activated when we see anything Pokemon related in our brains, like we were brainwashed? Like
I wasn't telling you that, but I agree with it. I do agree with it.
Someone at some point was telling me that, but it's like there's a whole one or at least 1 or 2 generations out there that have effectively been brainwashed, not like maliciously, but just like how we view Pokemon because of how much influence it's had over our lives.
I do think it has had an immense influence over our lives of people of our age range generation.
Yeah. They were striking lightning in a bottle. I mean, with everything they were doing was like drumming up more engagement.
Yeah, there's an inherent need in us to collect, honestly.
Yeah.
And it comes from Pokemon.
They did it, man.
That's how they brainwashed us, I think. That we have like an incessant need to collect things. And it might not be Pokemon anymore, but inside you're like, I must have all. I must have all of whatever this is.
You gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
You gotta catch them all.
I mean, look at Xander's walls behind him. Look at his shelves. He's collecting. Yeah. The bitch is collecting. Yeah. And I blame Pokemon for that. I blame Pokemon.
And you know what else they did? They made some films.
And are the films any good? You know, you watch them as a kid, you're absorbed into it, you love Pokemon, you're eating anything they're giving you. But now we go back with a new, refreshed, mature eye for film, and we're here to find out, are these films any good? I was curious. I've watched them all, but it's been 20 years plus since I've seen any of them.
It has been a really long time since I watched any of these.
Yeah. And the best thing about this conversation is that it is the definitive list at this point. So, you know, I think we can put a stamp in it. We can let the world know.
And if you disagree, you are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the rat opinion will be sacred.
It is 3 adult perspectives, and it's never gonna get more concrete than this. So I'm glad we're here. I'm glad everyone's listening.
Yeah, we'll set the record straight.
Yeah,
we're almost a legendary trio of our own. in terms of like, and what we control on this planet is like what movies are good. And if you try to disagree, the whole world's gonna go into disarray. You can't.
It's gonna be a huge balance of the storm.
This is harmony. This is what harmony is.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about Pokemon, the first movie, 1998.
We had a bootleg of this movie that our dad bought for us in the city. So
your dad bought you a bootleg of Pokemon. We used to have a lot of.
We used to have so many bootleg movies because in New York City, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there would just be people on the street where they went into the theaters with a camcorder, recorded full movies, and would just sell them on the street. And our dad we got Pokemon early, we got Star Wars movies early, like we had the SpongeBob movie on bootleg. Like
that's incredible.
It's such a thing that's like lost to time now, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like that's the specific energy of like watching a camcorder version of a movie.
I think I've only done that like once or twice in my life, like seeing a camcorder like version recording of any movie.
And it wasn't just that they were cheaper, it was that they were early. Like you could get them while movies were in theaters. So you would have it on DVD way before, because back then it also took way longer for shit to come out on DVD. It was like 6 months
the
minimum.
theatrical window actually existed.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if we saw this in the theater, but I remember watching this one a lot when I was a kid.
And it's iconic because of the one and only Mewtwo.
I guess we should give a summary really quick. The premise of this movie, it follows Ash Ketchum, a young Pokemon trainer and his friends, and they stumble across this invitation to an island for the most elite Pokemon masters to come and prove themselves. Turns out that island is actually run by Mewtwo, a genetic experiment by Team Rocket, and some chaos ensues.
Do we want to get into it? Because I'm about to shit all over this movie.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like... Go ahead. Yeah.
I went into this movie really thinking it was going to be my favorite by far because I love Mewtwo. Mewtwo's fucking awesome. And I just have so many memories of Pokemon. Like all of the battles and all of the clones and stuff. But as the movie was going on, I was consistently perplexed by Mewtwo's plan and Mewtwo's opinions where shit just did not make sense at all, I felt. Like at times it did make sense where you're following it because basically the plot is that scientists at the beginning create Mewtwo as a clone of Mew, the most rare and ancient godfather of Pokemon at the time. Mewtwo's like, fuck you guys, I'm not going to be your slave. And then he has this whole insane plan to destroy the world because he's mad.
Yeah.
This is purely a case of 4 kids who dubbed this movie, completely butchering the Japanese version of this movie. The Japanese version of this movie, Mewtwo's plan is completely different, and his motivation, I mean, not completely different, but different in key reasons. So this prologue is completely cut from this movie, and it's in the Japanese movie, and it shows pivotal information about Mewtwo, where it has him as like a child, and they are also cloning, the same scientists are also cloning other Pokemon, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and also the scientist is cloning his own dead daughter. Mewtwo uses his psychic ability to then communicate with them, and in his own mind, it's him, and these are his best friends, the young girl, the Squirtle, the Bulbasaur, and the Charmander, and their experiments fail, and so they die, essentially. And in his mind, in his psychic mind, they die in front of him as a child. It's like devastating for him and his character. And he also, in that moment, cries. And then the girl says to him, "Oh, you're crying. Only humans can cry. That shows that you have like depth to you." And that also sets up the climax of the movie where all the Pokemon cry. Because it's set up in a way that they're saying, "Oh, Pokemon don't cry. Pokemon don't have that level of emotions. Only humans do." Essential context. Because it also explains later why he has the Blastoise, the Charizard, and the Venusaur. He remakes his friends that he lost. And so, anyway, that's an essential thing. But the other most essential change is that in the US version, they make it where Mewtwo basically wants to destroy the world. That does not happen in the Japanese version at all. In the Japanese version, it's more that he does not understand his place in the world, and he doesn't understand what his purpose is. After he kills all the scientists, Giovanni takes him, right? And then he starts fighting and battling with him, and he recognizes, oh, in this world, the only thing that gives you value is strength. So that's why he invites all of the strongest trainers he can find to his island to then have his clones fight their real Pokemon, basically to prove to himself that since the clones are stronger, himself included, stronger than the humans and the regular Pokemon of the real world, that they have value. At no point does he want to destroy the world. He literally just wants to find meaning in his own life.
That is sort of what's in the movie, to be fair. They just
sort of
the destruction of the world. He is trying to prove like I'm better than the original, right? When Mew shows up, like that is his reaction.
Yeah, there are like a lot of lines where he says stuff like that. Right, but we're in the context of this, we're judging it off of the US release.
Yes.
Correct.
You have to.
Right, okay. Yeah, because what you described sounds like a pretty damn good movie.
It's better. It's better, 100%.
I went into this watching these three movies very confident with how I thought I was going to rank them before I rewatched them.
Agreed.
I think what bothered me the most is that I feel like I liked Mewtwo as an antagonist. Like I feel like his desire to be like recognized and find meaning was an interesting dynamic as an antagonist. I was kind of surprised by like how little amount of things actually occur in the movie. Like it's really just like Mewtwo's backstory, and then the other like 3/4 of the movie is just like Ash and company showing up, and then Mewtwo and doing it's like most of the movie's just them battling at the island. Like there's not like a whole lot of things that happen. So I just feel like content-wise, it's kind of just like whatever.
There's not a lot going on.
I think there's like a lot of cool moments that I remember as a kid. You know, like the Mew versus Mewtwo fight. I remember like as a kid thinking like, oh my god, that was like such a cool thing. But like as an adult, it's like they really kind of just like bounce around as bubbles, and it's like not even for that long. they just like bump into each other a few times.
With like 5 more minutes of bubble bouncing. Personally.
I wanted a few more bounces, but no, they didn't do much of that.
It's interesting because I feel like I had a different reaction to this than you guys. I went into this thinking that this was gonna be my favorite.
I thought it was gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, I expected it to be the worst before I rewatched them.
So I expected this to be my favorite. What I found was that it wasn't what I thought it was, and the things that I thought I was gonna like about it, I maybe didn't so much. But there was other shit in it that I actually kind of thought was interesting, and like, okay, to give the amount of praise I can give to it, what I thought was good about it and what I liked about it was the existentialism of it, and sort of the aspect of like, what does it mean to be alive? Like, what is cloning, like genetic experiments, like a kind of a commentary on that. There's almost like a racism allegory in there. Meowth has that whole little speech, which is you know, it's not like a particularly well written speech from Meowth, where like he's talking to his other Meowth and he's like, maybe we're not so different after all. Maybe we should not judge each other so harshly.
Yeah, that's a good part. I agree.
I thought that stuff in the movie, like while being like a little bit on the nose, this message actually kind of like works itself kind of well into this Pokemon movie. But then on the flip side of that, to Spencer's point about like nothing really happens in the movie, there was a part of me that was watching it and I was like, yeah, we got battles. Like that's what Pokemon's all about, like Pokemon battles. But the battles just kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good.
That was one of the things I was like definitely judging them all on. Was like in terms of like what Pokemon is at its essence, does it capture that?
Where they're all like one-hit battles. You got the classic issue here of Ash doesn't evolve any of his Pokemon, and you're like, he's sending a Squirtle to fight like a
He has a Squirtle fight a Machamp and defeat it
Machamp. That's what it was.
Bubble. He defeats it with Bubble. Ash is legitimately the greatest trainer of all time. The motivational speaking this guy must possess to like hype his Pokemon up to go into these fucking battles and they actually win is insane. Because like
when Bulbasaur when Bulbasaur beats the Donphan, you're like type advantage.
Sure.
Fair enough. When Squirtle beats the Machamp, you're like, no way.
And with Bubble as well. Like not even Hydro
Not even Bubble Beam.
So at least Bulbasaur used Solar Beam like a good move.
Exactly. But like I don't think people give enough credit to how actually based this guy is as a trainer. He's insane. He's clearly insane.
Can we talk about this about Ash though? This is going to be a recurring thing for
He's
all
a
three of
fucking
these
moron
movies.
and he runs into shit and tries to punch psychic beings over and over and over again.
I think
He
it's
just
hilarious. I'm
runs
gonna
at
be honest. I
things.
think it's like really funny, and I enjoy it when it happens. I enjoy watching him just like be a martyr and just throw himself, like physically throw hands at Mewtwo.
It's
like,
literally
like,
his first thought every time.
Yeah,
He has an
and I
arsenal.
love that.
He has an arsenal of monsters with powers, and never does he go, "Oh, let me use one." He goes, "First try, I'm gonna run straight into it."
He's like, if I see a situation heads up, I can't not run at it. I can't do it.
He's gonna do it, man.
And haters out there will say that it's plot armor. No, he's actually just the best fucking trainer of all time. He just is.
He's a Pokemon master.
The facts are out there right in front of us. Legendary after legendary. He's defeating them with like level 10 Pokemon. None of his Pokemon
unevolved
are
Pokemon.
greater than level 20. Not one. Yeah, okay, so but there are good things about this movie. That's why I didn't want to start out even talking about the other shit because it makes me shit on it. And I do feel like it was a complete failure from the dub, but I don't think it's a fully bad movie because I think that like Xander was saying, things from the original do slip in that are really good. Mewtwo is a good character, and he's a really good antagonist.
He is.
He's probably the best antagonist out of all of these movies we watched. The most interesting.
I was fully agree.
I was gonna make that point as well. I think he's the best antagonist out of the three that we're talking about.
The premise of like he's a clone, he gets made by these people who want to just use and abuse him, and he goes, "No, that's not my purpose."
Yeah.
That stuff is interesting, and it sets up a good motivation for him to be a villain.
They do mess it up a little bit though, again with the like weird changes that they make, because when he's like talking to everybody and explaining his plan, and he's like, yeah, like all you Pokemon are just slaves, you're weak. And I'm like, okay, like he's gonna try to save the Pokemon and stuff, and he's like, yeah, but you guys are actually pussies, so I think I'm just gonna destroy the whole world.
It is a missed opportunity too for his motivation to be Pokemon shouldn't be slaves to humans. Like, I'm setting out to free all Pokemon from Pokemon trainers.
Right.
Pokemon trainers are the
that
enemies.
would make sense.
I was gonna say, as a kid, I feel like I remember it that way, and I was wrong. Like
Me too.
That's what I thought too.
I remember thinking like, oh, he's just trying to like free all Pokemon, and the trainers are the problem, and it just wasn't that.
But the other thing in the movie that really like struck me as just so strange is that there's the part where all of the Pokemon are fighting their clone just one-on-one, and they're not using any powers. They're just like slapping each other and punching each other. And all of the trainers are watching going, oh, this is messed up. What the hell? They're fighting? This is not right. And I'm like, this is Pokemon. All you guys do is fucking fight. The only difference is that they're not burning each other to a fucking crisp. Like they're slapping, and that's worse. They're not using fucking spikes and fire and lava and hydro pump and ice beam and thundershock. Now it's worse. That absolutely makes no fucking sense at all. Like that part at the movie pissed me off so bad.
Well, in the US dub, they kind of worded it like, "Oh, this kind of fighting's not good. Like the fighting that we do as traders is totally fine. We like that, but
the less
whatever
violent fighting."
But whatever they're doing here, this is not like, because they clearly they don't like it. Look at them. Like the Pokemon have to enjoy it for it to be good.
Yeah, they're not even smiling.
Yeah. Well, so what else did you like about Mewtwo? So like, you said there was a lot to like. We like Mewtwo.
I want to hype something up that I will hype up in every movie. Do you know what I loved in all of them on rewatch,
The music.
Team Rocket.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I
Team Rocket's
had
the
that in my
best.
notes as well.
They are consistently the best part of every movie for
I
me.
agree. And
Their
that
dialogue is hilarious. Meowth as the masthead on the boat and they pretend to be Vikings they're just
That was
they're
such a
pure,
good bit.
They're pure comedic relief, but I actually think they're awesome. This is actually probably my least favorite of them in the 3 movies. Like if I was judging it based on the Team Rocket appearances, this is my least favorite, but I still think they're great in this.
I think James is like steals the show for me every single time.
I
if
love
he's on
James.
screen. Like I love all 3 of them, but like James opens
James
his
is the
mouth.
best.
James is so good.
Yeah, I love Team Rocket in all 3 of these, and I liked them in this one.
Yeah,
I
they don't
fully agree.
miss.
I had in my notes too that like the one thing I will give 4Kids in the dub, because that's completely different than the Japanese version as well.
Absolutely.
Apparently it's not as funny, and also even if it was, the jokes would not be the same because a lot of it is like American references and shit and American style humor. Every fucking joke hits, and the way that they write Team Rocket is incredible in every single movie. I fully agree with that.
They're batting 1,000.
Every single joke is funny. Every single one.
I think my favorite James line is one from the first one where he says, "I was prepared for trouble, but not for this." When they were like slapping each other. It's just so good.
They have great lines. That is a good one. That is one of the best in this one. Spencer, you said the music. The music is also great.
The music is good.
I think that intro song, like that we're so accustomed to from the original anime. They had an adaptation of it for this first movie. It's so nostalgic, man, and
Yeah,
they do little like motifs and melodies of it throughout, and I don't know. It also kind of feels like a little brainwashy with the music because it just hits every time.
Yeah, there's something really nostalgic about that theme, and when they're using it throughout the movie, like it does hit.
the intro to this movie in general, the song included, is just great.
Yeah, well, and also like you can tell it's like that was like they put a lot of care in the animation of it as well. Like the animation is like that of that intro seems better than the rest of the movie in some places.
Well, the thing is, like, that's what Pokemon is all about, right? Everyone who came to watch a Pokemon movie is here to watch Pokemon battle.
Yeah.
And so, like, that opening scene, like, does really set the tone. And, like, if you're a Pokemon fan, you're like, this is cool. I'm watching Bulbasaur do Solar Beam. I'm watching Squirtle beat a Machamp with Bubble for no reason. Like, but it is cool.
And one last thing we have to talk about, too, with this movie before we, like, move on from it is the, like, climax of Ash sacrificing himself and turning into stone.
Yes.
It is genuinely really sad.
It's emotional. Absolutely.
And Ash, as stupid as he is, you do like how much heart he has, right?
Right.
And how he is like willing to do anything to protect his friends and to protect his Pokemon. Like even though it's a little bit insane, I feel like it works on some level.
Yeah, I agree with you. He always wants to do the right thing. Like he's that archetype of a protagonist that is just, he's always going to make the right choice and do as much as he can to try and do the right thing.
He's kind of like a force of nature.
Yeah.
Like he just like he's very consistently the same.
As a kid, it made me cry.
Yeah.
As an adult, like I'm still like, ooh, yeah, it's a touching moment.
It definitely feels like the US version is like half of a movie or 3/4 of a movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely missing some bits, but I still think overall it has moments that do hit, even if it's not great.
I think it still does some things better than the other two do.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I agree with that. It's the most spiritually like Pokemon of the 3 movies, I think. Like this is like a more about Ash's relationship with his Pokemon, which is like what the core of the series is to me. Whereas I feel like the other 2 films are more about some event that's happening that they're involved in. You know what I mean?
I don't know that I agree with that.
I'm not going to jump ahead, but I do feel like there are more core aspects of Pokemon that are better developed than the other ones.
I agree.
I mean, I agree with that. Not all of them. I just think like the baseline of Pokemon is about like battling and about training your Pokemon.
Yeah.
The other 2 are not really about that.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, Pokemon 2000 from 1999. Kind of hilarious that it came out in 1999. It's called Pokemon 2000.
But what month in 1999?
It
It's gotta be
came
December.
out
It's gonna be December.
July 17th.
July.
1999.
July. That's crazy.
All right, quick synopsis about this one. There's some guy whose name I missed in the movie. He's trying to collect legendary Pokemon, and he disturbs the balance of Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, and thus setting a prophecy in motion that Ash and his friends get intertwined in.
Off the rip, I really enjoyed the sort of like mystery and setup. I'm always a big fan of like greater themes and greater powers at play. I enjoy good sort of like big legendary mystery and what it means, and I think the intro I still really thought was fun. Like the whole like these are these 3 legendary birds, but setting up to unveil this like deep sea thing. I think anything deep sea is fun for me.
Spencer loves a prophecy.
I love a prophecy. I was gonna say
it's a classic bit of storytelling, but like I think it's classic for a reason.
Yeah, I think deep sea just invokes this feeling of like mystery and unknown that is I think resonates for me.
I think that this movie is the most Pokemon. Like how Xander was talking about last time, he thought the first one is the most. To me, this one is the most because it's more about like adventure, right? You're traveling to different places. You're going to these different islands and you're seeing there's more environments. He's using his Pokemon in more creative ways for different set pieces and shit. And you're encountering the powers of nature. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that is more Pokemon. But yeah, I really like this movie too. I think it's fun. I like the opening as well, like you were saying. I really like the narrator in this one at the very beginning. Like, they have this setup with the random guy, and then the narrator goes, like, he's like, it's a perfect day. The weather, warm. Did you guys notice that?
I forgot.
At the very beginning, he's like, the weather, warm. Like, he fucking puts so much emphasis on warm. When you after the movie, you realize that the reason he hits it so hard is because the movie's kind of about the weather going insane with like blizzards and thunderstorms and shit. But just like, I don't know. I was just watching it and it made me laugh out loud.
This one was interesting for me because I was the least familiar with this one. So I had definitely seen it before, but I didn't remember it as much. I like the prophecy setup. I think it's a little bit cliche and it's not something that I'm like all in on, but I think that it works pretty well for this movie. And I like what you said, Johnny, about the forces of nature and the way that the Pokemon of the world tie into the natural world. I thought that was pretty cool in this one.
I like that too.
I also think it did a good job of introducing legendary Pokemon. Like, I know Mewtwo and Mew were legendaries in the first movie, but I feel like this one did a good job of introducing legendary Pokemons that did feel like forces of nature that you just don't mess with.
Yeah, I mean, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres are iconic. As someone who's like a fan of Pokemon, like it's cool to see them. And can I say, my note about them is they're kind of fucking assholes.
They're huge fucking assholes. And can we also talk about like the voice acting for the birds, specifically Zapdos? This motherfucker is just screaming the entire movie. The introduction to Zapdos, because first it's Moltres. So Moltres, like, he kind of yells, but it works. It's like, I feel like Moltres seems cool.
It's very bird.
Then they go to Zapdos Island at one point, and Zapdos gets introduced, and I wrote it in my notes. Pikachu, somebody goes, Pikachu, it's Zapdos. And then Zapdos goes, like, it's fucking crazy. He just screams.
He screams, and then Pikachu starts talking to him, and their conversation is like, he goes, Moltres used to live here, but he's gone now. This shit's mine.
This is my turn. Yeah, I love it, actually.
I think it's cool.
And then there's the moment where they free them, right? Zapdos and Moltres get captured. Ash, once again, he runs straight at something and bounces off of it because he has to do it.
He's the best. Can't stop.
If he sees a force field or electric field, he's gonna run into it, guaranteed.
So he's got to test it. It might work someday.
Yeah. Then he throws out the Pokemon and goes, okay, let's fucking...
He frees them, and they immediately just start fighting each other. Like, there's not this moment of like, hey, let's get this guy who screwed us, right? He captured us. They just go, you know what? I hate you. I still hate you.
Yeah.
It's even funnier than what you described because Ash rescues Moltres, and then Moltres breaks out Zapdos. So you're thinking like, oh, they're going to team up. And then he goes, no, I just fucking wanted to fight you, bro. Like, I'm breaking you out to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Can I say though, like part of going back to me saying that this one doesn't feel as Pokemon to me, there's really no battling in this movie. And that was something that was disappointing to me as a Pokemon fan. The birds fight each other, and some of their fight scenes are admittedly very cool.
I think the animation is way better in this one. It's way better.
100%.
I do get that, but I think like some of the set pieces they use with the Pokemon are awesome. Like, for example, there's Zapdos and Moltres and Articuno fighting, and then Lugia coming out and fighting all of them, which Lugia's fucking sick. We could all agree that Lugia is sick.
Lugia's cool. Yeah.
Really it doesn't make any sense that he's not a water type, but I guess that's not against this movie, but that still pisses me off to this day.
Yeah, the flying psychic, get out of here.
Do you know what else pisses me off? There's too many talking Pokemon in this one. They shouldn't have made Lugia
that
talk.
pisses me off too. That the Lugia talking was garbage.
I forgot that was a thing.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
I thought
talking
Lugia
is
was
bad.
just gonna be silent the whole time.
Slowking talking is stupid. Meowth should be the only talking Pokemon. It made sense that Mewtwo spoke. He was psychic and he's like super powerful. That was fine.
I agree.
But they went too hard on it in this one.
That was the only thing that really bothered me in this movie.
All right. We're to this section now. This Team Rocket rules.
This is the best of
yes.
Team Rocket.
This is the best of Team Rocket, for sure.
in the movies.
Not only is it the best of Team Rocket, but the best animation in the movies are both Team Rocket bits. I specifically remember there's like two parts that like the animators went all out for no reason other than Team Rocket was on screen. One of them was when they were in the back of the boat, still hidden, and the boat was falling, but it did like this cool sort of like 360 like view of them like pulling the inflatable boat and then popping up. I remember I'm like, damn, that was like, that's like all those frames were sick. Like that was a smooth animation. And the other part that like I enjoyed to an extent was them in that inflatable boat, like going through the tunnels and like up through like the mountains.
Yes, that part was really cool.
Like that animation also incredible. Like they just love Team Rocket.
The part where they sacrifice themselves, that made me teary-eyed more than anything else in all of these movies. But why was that sadder than Ash literally dying in the first movie?
Well, because we like them more, because they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Ash, but yeah, I do like them more.
Maybe because also they're all talking to each other, and it's like we're doing this for like this cause, and it's like there's a little bit of a build up.
It's also like a redemption arc, which I think people like, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're turning good. That whole moment is crazy too, because right, Lugia's too weak to carry two extra people and a cat and a little Meowth.
Yeah.
So they drop off. It's kind of this thing, I think, where Team Rocket's blasting off again is so iconic to people who are Pokemon fans. Mm-hmm. And what they say there is Team Rocket's blasting off for good. And I feel like that's what made that hit for me, where you're like, for good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is it.
And then they go, let's not say goodbye. Let's just say, and Meowth goes, we're going to die. Yeah. And you're like, what the hell? You're like, oh my God.
It was way more serious.
Another good joke of theirs was the point. There's a part where Jesse's like, oh, I don't want to get hit by flames. James is like, I don't want to get hit by lightning bolts. And then Meowth goes, I don't want to get hit by droppings.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's set up like so that he says like ice beams or hail or something, and he just fucking. Also, I have in my notes that Meowth's hand looks exactly like a dick and balls at timestamp 57 minutes and 35 seconds. So if you guys want to check that out, like, it's crazy. Oh, I was going to say the best action set piece of this entire movie is the part where he's sledding across the ice with Charizard, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle pulling the boat. That scene is fucking awesome. I really, really like that part.
Well, so that's something that's in this one that's not in the first one that I do really like, which is a bit more of the like use your Pokemon to do things, like not just battle. That part is really sick.
I feel like this movie was a good example of like the man versus nature themes. Whereas like maybe you could probably consider the first movie where it's like man versus self. If you're talking like literary themes, you know, there is an essence of like nature for Pokemon that this movie like really captured, like the exploration, the different sort of like biomes, quote unquote. And if that is the thing that you like resonate the most with when you like think about Pokemon, then it's like, it's easy to see as this one being like your favorite, you know?
Well, and there's something to like, man shouldn't be meddling in nature, right? We should do everything we can to let nature exist and coexist with it and not try and control it and own it and cage it and ruin it.
Yeah.
And the villain of this movie, who is way worse than Mewtwo as a villain.
Yeah,
by the way.
that's the
He's
weakest part
so
about this
nothing.
movie is the villain is terrible. One good part about this movie is that I actually think the side character of Melody is an interesting and fun side character. Where in the first movie, there's a lot of side trainers and shit, but none of them feel substantial.
Yeah.
Like she actually is a character that comes in and has an impact. And she has a small arc where she doesn't care about her island's traditions, but then at the end she uses the traditional song to save the day. Like that was effective. It's simple, but like that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie does encapsulate things that the other two don't, which is also a huge pro.
Yeah, definitely. All right, where do you guys want to rank this one compared to the first one? Above or below?
I'm saying above.
I'd also put it above.
I'm really torn about this one. I really kind of can't decide how I feel. It doesn't matter what I say at this point because you both voted above. I kind of feel like they have inverse pros and cons. Like the villain sucks in this one and the villain's really good in the first one.
Yeah.
The battling is better in the first one than this one, but this one has better like Pokemon world building. The message is muddled in the first one, but some of it is more unique and interesting than the message in this one. But the message in this one like actually hits. Whereas the first one, I'm like, oh, like existentialism, like that's more unique, but it's not quite all there. So I'm torn.
I also think just like more things happen in this movie. There's more like set pieces, right? Like the first movie, there's really only like 2 or 3 places total. This one has like multiple islands and multiple things going on. Like I think just from like animation and viewing alone, like you're just seeing way like more varied things.
It's more of an adventure.
Also, you know what? Team Rocket's better in this one, so it's going to win for me for that.
Yeah.
But I do hear what you're saying, and I totally agree that like Mewtwo is way, way, way better than this villain. And I genuinely think like if the first movie, the English version, reached its maximum potential, I would like it better. But there's just too many things that are just weird watching it that don't make sense that it really holds it back. Where this one, it's simpler. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't go for as big of a swing, but you just watch it and it's adventure and everything makes sense. You know, so
yeah.
I mean, I would argue, I guess, like the whole explanation of why the birds balance each other doesn't really make sense, but that part was weird.
Correct. That part is really funny where it's like,
well, what happens when you mix fire and ice? I'm like, I don't know, fucking melted ice, like, and they're like underwater currents, of course, and I'm like, okay. And then they're like, and then when you put lightning in it, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah, it's true.
But it's fine.
All right, so we'll put it on the top. Last up on the list for today, Pokemon 3, the movie. All right, quick synopsis of this one. There's a young girl. Her father is a Pokemon researcher. He's researching these Pokemon called the Unknown. While on a research expedition, he goes missing. The little girl is sad. She now has no mother and no father. And she ends up playing with some of his research, summoning the Unknown, and they start granting her wishes.
This movie's a banger. Can I just say this movie's a fucking banger?
I'm with Johnny, dude. This movie is pretty sweet.
I feel like this movie, we've been talking a lot with the first movie and the second movie about complex plot versus execution of plot, right? First movie has complex plot, but not the execution. Second movie has simple, more adventure plot with execution, but it's not as complex. I feel like this one is both. The plot is kind of complex. It has to do with psychic Pokemon. It has to do with the main character girl, whatever her name is, Molly, with dreaming up these insane things, but also it executes on everything, in my opinion. It all makes sense. It all works well.
I think the setup works great. Like the intro to like the dad sort of like reading her bedtime stories and like showing you like what Entei and Unknown are before you even see him. Like he's an archaeologist and like all that he's been studying for years. And then it leads into like, oh, I guess I am Entei, and starts roaring. Like I think it's such a good intro to this narrative.
The little girl being the antagonist, but also being really sympathetic, I think works really, really well.
Yeah.
She's creating the conflict of this film through the Unknown. So I guess they're really the antagonist behind the scenes, but it's viewed through her lens.
Yeah.
We were talking about like in the second movie, the villain sucks. He's just as an asshole. He just wants to collect Pokemon. Yeah. There's no motivation for it. There's no depth to it, whatever. You just go, I guess this guy is creating all this conflict, but just because he wants to and doesn't care. But that's not why Molly is creating the conflict. It's much more nuanced than in the last one with the villain.
Yeah, you have the added the added layer of like your antagonist is a child that can't understand complex emotions.
Yeah.
It's more nuanced, and everybody's motivations make perfect sense. And
Yeah.
like you were saying with the character being young and not understanding complex emotions, she's causing a lot of like chaos, but she's never evil. But also you understand. No. And it's a good balance that they run. It's kind of like where I feel like they failed with Mewtwo. It's not the exact same character, obviously, but it's like a sympathetic villain who is causing a lot of chaos, but you really understand why and you feel for them.
Can we go back to the beginning for a really quick second here?
Yeah.
This one has the best opening.
Agree.
Battling.
It's definitely the best.
And the Pokemon Johto theme, I'm going to say it's better than the original Pokemon theme.
It is better.
I think the Pokemon Johto song is a banger.
I agree.
I think it's really good. It's hard for me to put it above the original, but it is really damn good. The battle at the start, I think I noticed Ash doesn't just curb stomp the other person. Like this, it was like...
No, it's actually...
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
It was back and forth. And like he would lose, he would win, he would lose, he would win. I think that was like way more indicative of an actual battle. It didn't make every other person he fought like this total incompetent like joke that just rolled up. Like she knew what she was doing. And I forgot that she became more of a character than just like a throwaway intro battle. Like she was had more of a presence, which I think was also awesome.
She was a cool character.
That is something that's like very much in the spirit of Pokemon. I feel like it's like the people you meet along the way on your adventure, right? Mm-hmm. Which is something that's captured well here.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, I've never been to that town. She's like, well, I know the fastest way to get there, and then they're journeying together, and I think that was like a cool moment.
Speaking of battling as well, the other battles in this are also very good. Specifically, Misty's battle underwater is cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
This was the point I was going to bring up later. This movie does the best out of the three, encapsulating what like Pokemon battling is. And I also would argue that this movie treats Brock and Misty with the most respect. You look at like the first movie and you could be forgiven for never thinking they like do anything other than support Ash, right? Like I always had this thing in my back of my head, like Misty and Brock are both gym leaders.
Well, I think they need to step it up a little bit. I do see what you're saying. I like that they actually got to battle, but we're in the third movie and you're still fucking with Zubat and Goldeen. Like, holy shit. Evolve somebody. Like, just like, I'm not saying every single
Goldeen
Pokemon
versus
has
Kingdra's
to be,
crazy.
Yeah, like, give him Steelix. Yeah. You know?
Right.
Like, just give him one ace. And give Misty one ace. Give her Starmie. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But I do think the battles are still really good, like from an animation
not perfect.
entertainment standpoint.
Yeah, the design of them is really cool.
Yeah.
And they did some cool stuff with the way that they use the moves. Like Mantine puts Staryu in Whirlpool and then she uses Rapid Spin to get out of it. Like that's actually kind of fun and creative.
Right. Yeah, this one had the most battling, and
definitely
it gave Misty and Brock the spotlight, which I think was cool.
Another thing I really like about this movie is that it's not a world-ending event, right? It's just like they're coming across this weird phenomenon and they just happen to be there. And at first you're like, this is weird. Like, why would they even be involved in it? Then Ash's mom gets kidnapped and everything makes perfect sense, right? Ash's mom has the connection to she's friends with the dad of the daughter. Then she gets kidnapped and they're all in it. But going along with that, all the decisions that the main characters make, Ash, Brock, and Misty, are all smart in this movie. They don't do anything fucking stupid. In a lot of the other movies, there's not that they're
Ash does run at something.
I know. I wrote that down too because I literally was writing in my notes like, holy shit, Ash is like actually being smart as hell. He's not running to anything. And then right towards the end of the movie, I wrote, this is what my notes is exactly. Ash almost did nothing stupid the whole movie, then runs headfirst into the unknown. Fucking idiot. That's what my notes says exactly. But you gotta have that. It's part of his character, whatever. But
it's what he does.
I just think a lot of the shit that they do is logical and they use their Pokemon in creative ways. Like they use Bulbasaur and Chikorita to climb up the river.
I loved that. I thought that was great.
Like the other movies are missing this shit.
Just using like water gun to get into the break-in.
Yeah, that part too. And then they use the fire and then the water. It's just like little things like that I think make a big difference because I mean, when you're playing the games, that's how the games work, right? you're using Pokemon with different HMs like Surf and Strength and Cut to get around places. Like that's sort of what it is. You're adventuring around the world and you're using all these Pokemon with great powers to overcome obstacles. And there wasn't enough of that in the first movies.
No, it's true. This is the only one that really has significant amounts of it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about my favorite Team Rocket?
Yes.
Did you like Team Rocket more in this one?
I don't think so. I think they're the best in 2.
Yeah.
But what I will say about them that I liked, they actually continued the thread of they went good and now they're trying to grapple with that in this movie. And like they don't even really know what they're doing there anymore because they're not really there to kidnap Pikachu.
Yeah.
But then they're like, why are we here?
They have that fourth wall breaking joke where Meowth is like, you think we're gonna have a bigger part in the next movie?
Yeah, that was funny. There's also a line in it where they're talking about like the unknown letters, and then he's like, James says something like, I haven't seen letters this weird since the last time I did a personal ad on Craigslist or something like that. Like a bizarre line. Do you guys remember that? I don't remember exactly what the line was.
But then Meowth says, this looks like alphabet soup, but without the soup.
Yeah, Meowth is hands down my favorite character across these 3 films.
One of the things I was kind of like a through line on all 3 of these movies that I put notes in, was Charizard had a big role in this 3rd movie. Like they had the whole
he's
thing.
The goat in this fucking movie.
He's the
fucking
goat
awesome in this movie,
and
he's
like,
really cool.
It is no wonder that everyone loves Charizard. Like if you go back and watch, you could watch any of these 3 movies. 2 probably had like the least presence, obviously. But like 1 and 3, Charizard is like, he's like smoke on sight. Like he's amazing.
Especially in 3 though, because in 1 he kind of just gets banged. Like, and I get that that's part of the plot. The thing that's so great about him in 3 is not just the action, but the fact that he's not even with Ash anymore. He's at the Charizard like camp or whatever, and he sees it on TV and he just goes and then saves Ash at the pivotal moment when he's falling. Like, genuinely, you don't really see that coming, even though they set it up briefly.
Right.
He really, and it adds to the whole narrative of this movie, which is that like you're found family and that your Pokemon are your family and they'll always have your back. And they're trying to like tell that to Molly, like you can't have this fake imaginary family that just tells you everything you want. You have your fucking AI ass family. Like you can go out and make your own found family and they will care for you. Not all is lost, right? And then they have Charizard coming in being a complete fucking badass. And I'm also not a Charizard kid. Like I'm a fucking Squirtle Blastoise guy all the way. But I watch this and I go like, Charizard's fucking epic. Like they make him so good.
Yeah, he's really cool in this movie.
He's so cool, and like it's very clear that like he's a favorite for everybody. They give him like so many amazing moments. 3 is like he doesn't get any cooler.
Well, and you know, Pokemon, you could argue, has been really guilty over the years of making just too much reliance on Pikachu. Pikachu always ends up being the one to solve the problems. It's pretty cool that you don't expect it, like Johnny said, and Charizard swoops in to actually be the one to save the day of Ash's Pokemon.
Pikachu has probably the least role in this movie compared to the other movies. You're actually right about that, and I didn't think about that, but in a welcome way, because it can't always be Pikachu. Like, I want to see some other shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Pikachu doesn't do much getting into the place or anything, right? Like you said, it's Chikorita and Bulbasaur. It's Squirtle and Totodile.
Yeah. Pikachu's always there. He's helping, but
I think Johnny's right. There's just enough amount of time between like the scene of Charizard seeing him on TV and when he actually swoops in. Like I did kind of forget, like as I was watching, like in the back of my mind now, like I knew, but it's enough time and for it to like happen and you go, oh damn, there he is.
Yeah.
How did we feel as like antagonistic wise? Like, do we consider like Molly as the antagonist, like as comparable to Mewtwo?
She's not as good of an antagonist to me in terms of being like threatening.
Yeah,
but in terms of complexity, I think she's pretty on par.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the sort of like father-daughter like story and like family dynamic is like impactful and in a similar sense to Mewtwo's sort of like identity crisis. I think it's like I really enjoy the antagonistic role she has because she's not like such an immediate threat. You know, it is more of like you're treating this differently because it's a kid and who's not malicious, but clearly is misunderstood.
Can I give my one gripe about this movie? I don't know if you guys will feel the same way.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't like the way that they use Entei in this movie. Number one, it's not Entei, right? And I get it. It's like not actually Entei.
Yeah.
It's like a creation of the unknown, whatever. But like he bears no, like he's using like Shadow Ball. Like he's got like psychic powers. It's weird.
No.
He
I feel like
talks,
he's using fire, but it's like mystic fire. That's why I thought it was.
Okay. That I mean, that could be. But he talks again. No talking Pokemon, just Meowth. Like I don't like it. But then also the like Entei's my dad thing. I kind of like the setup. Like I think it works in a way. Like it's something that she was doing when she was playing with her dad. But then there's just something off-putting to me about Entei being like, I am Papa.
I mean, it's definitely off-putting, but I think it works for the plot. Like, it's obviously not if you were saying, I'm going to make a movie about Entei. Of course, it's not the first thing you would think of. And it doesn't feel like how you'd think Entei would feel.
That's what I mean. I feel like they shoehorned him in here.
I don't know if they shoehorned him. I appreciate the creativity that they've used here with the unknown and the dream fulfillment. And I think it does make sense to have like the child make her father like a storybook like hero to her, and like in the world of Pokemon it makes sense that would be a legendary Pokemon.
Sure.
His talking doesn't bother me because of the context. Like if it was real Entei, it would bother me. And I actually think the voice acting is good as opposed to the media one was really bad. But I understand what you mean, but I think given the context of the movie, I think it works well because of what the story is.
Yeah, that's my only nitpick with this one, really.
The introduction to the conflict and the escalation throughout the movie is done really well. Like this movie has the best pacing out of any of them.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I would say overall though, I think this movie does like the most things right. I think it is sort of missing that that real adventure nature thing that 2000 has. I think it's missing that huge sort of like big legendary presence that like both of them have, like 1 and 2 have. But like you put like the nuances of the plot and how the characters act and everyone's role and the huge focus on battling and how well it captures that. I think it does it overall much better than the other two.
It's the perfect balance, I think, of what we talked about for the first two, where it's more interesting but also effective.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, so where do you guys want to rank Pokemon 3 the movie?
I'm putting it at the top.
Yeah, I agree. It's a definite top pick.
I agree as well. Can I say this? I really thought before I rewatched them that it was going to be a unanimous agreement episode. It was going to be 1-3-2. That's what my brain thought going into this.
Yeah.
And then I probably, if it had been up to me, would have switched 1 and 2 purely for the nostalgia. I think they're pretty equal, but like the nostalgia probably would have went out. So I probably would have went 3-1-2.
Before I watched it, I thought it was going to be 2-3-1. And then after watching them, I'm putting 3 above 2, 3-2-1.
Johnny, what did you think?
I thought it was going to be 1-3-2. Is that the same?
So you thought the same as me. So we were all wrong in what we thought the reaction was going to be.
And I was also coming to this definitely being like, nobody's going to like that. I want to put 3 at the top. I'm going to get a lot of pushback on that. And I'm going to get a lot of, I thought I was going to get pushback on that and pushback that I wanted to put 1 on the bottom. But it's like weirdly validating that you guys are agreeing.
Yeah, I think I would have rather put 1 in the middle, but probably only for the nostalgia, not necessarily because I think it's a better movie.
I think 1 and 2 are still very close. Like I do like 2 better, but they're close. Like maybe I could be convinced to swap. I do feel like 3 is significantly above them as a movie, and the animation, the pacing, the plot, the emotional stakes, everything I think is by far the best in 3.
Yeah, I'm with Johnny. I think 1 and 2 are close for me as well. There's a lot of nostalgia around 1. But I think there's more nostalgia for 2 for me. I think just as a kid, I like a prophecy. I like an underwater themed prophecy, and the nature themes just hit harder for me with that adventure aspect. So,
all right, this is the official ranking for the Pokemon movies, for 3 Pokemon movies for 30 years of Pokemon, objectively, in our rat opinion. Starting from the bottom, Pokemon the first movie, Pokemon the movie 2000, and the big cheese, Pokemon 3 the movie.
They're getting better as they go.
All right, let's end with this. What's your guys' favorite Pokemon?
of all time, Sceptile.
Sceptile, all right. Johnny?
I like Phanpy and Donphan. So I'm getting a lot of
good
representation in these movies.
Yeah,
that's
good.
true.
You must have lost your mind at number 1.
Yeah. I like Squirtle too, though. Squirtle's like my nostalgia pick.
I'm going Jolteon.
Yeah,
no Jolteon. No appearances. We got Vaporeon in the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
Not much Eevee in general.
Bulbasaur is my starter, so that's my nostalgia pick too. So I had some good Bulbasaur had some good moments. He wrecked that Donphan.
Yeah,
but he got fucked by stupid ass Butterfree using sleep powder. That was a bullshit move.
Yeah, it doesn't even affect him.
I didn't like that shit at all. That pissed me off. Watch these and we'll do the next 3. If people watch it, if it gets enough views, we will do the next 3 Pokemon movies and we'll add them to the list.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's some bangers in the next 3. I know.
I didn't say this at the start, but I thank you guys for having me, and I would love to be around more.
This will be Spencer's last appearance on this show.
I was thinking
unless it gets 10,000 views and we get to do the next 3, Spencer will not appear again.
They do all these podcasts and all these like really important films and all these like nuanced themes, and the first episode that Spencer's on is about the fucking Pokemon movies.
I mean,
are you upset about that?
No, actually, I love it because it's all I understand.
Thanks for listening to Rats on Film. Tell a friend about the show where a bunch of little rats talk about and rank movies. Happy 30th anniversary to Pokemon. Let us know what your favorite Pokemon movie is. Let us know what your favorite Pokemon is. Follow us, Rats on Film Pod, social media, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. And we'll be back in a couple weeks to talk about and rank some more movies. And yeah, if you guys like this, we'll come back and we'll do some more Pokemon movies. Poke Boys, we'll come back. Poke Rats.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, we're blasting off again.